Hello everybody, welcome to my video. I am your host Blacky Black and today we will uncover everything related to one of the newest vehicles added into the game, the Lamborghini Sian Roadster. The video will be split into parts. You can see them right now on the screen and I will also add the timestamps in the description. I would like to mention that this is the first time I am making a review and a tuning video, so feel free to leave a comment if you enjoy it or if I should change something for the next one, and also feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of it. Let's start first with a stock test drive to get an idea how the car feels and handles. The first thing that can be noticed is that the car has a very fast launch and a very good acceleration. This is of course obvious because of the fact that it's an all-wheel drive car, and all all-wheel drive cars have a good launch and a big advantage at the racetrack. The car feels pretty decent and it accelerates pretty quick. I like the fact that the devs kept the car pretty close to the original sound from the real life. That makes it even more cool and more realistic. Taking a quick look at the stats, I can say that they are pretty good, and on straights the car is doing an awesome job despite being stuck. On the other hand though, when it comes to corners, that's going to be the main issue that people will encounter. The Lambo can be pretty good and enjoyable to drive, especially on straights, being a very quick car, but because it's an all-wheel drive vehicle, we encounter a very big nemesis in racing that always happens to cars like this one: understeer. If you guys don't know what understeer means, technically when you want to steer either left or right, the car will still go forward because the wheels are rotating too quick and cannot sync with the engine. The only ways to encounter understeering is by braking very early before a corner, or if you do what I'm doing in the video already, engine braking. By engine braking, you are giving the car the best amount of grip possible so you can encounter the understeer. If you are playing with a controller, you will not have too much of a problem because when you shift or use automatic transmission, the car already does the engine brake, so you can enjoy driving it without problems. If you are using a wheel though, things will change a bit because Forza Horizon 5, played with a strong force feedback wheel, gets the experience close to reality, and some extra steps will be necessary no matter what you do. If you are using the pedal shifters from the wheel, you will not have too much of a headache, but if you drive with a shifter or gearbox like I do in the footage, you are going to do some extra steps as I already mentioned, meaning that you will have to throttle while downshifting the gears. If you'll do that, you will manage to take corners a bit easier, but in the car's stock condition, you will still lose a big amount of time. You can easily mess it up if you're not doing it correctly. Feel free to drive it a bit around so you can get used to how the car handles first on stock, so you can get an idea about it. Alright, let's give now for the car the proper tuning that it needs to get a better experience out of it. After the test drive I've done, I decided that the car should stay in its class, S1 in this case, and all we need to do is to give the car what lacks the most, a better corner reaction to counter the understeer. Countering the understeer would mean that we will have to sacrifice the top speed of the vehicle to add a better tire response for the engine. To do that, first we will get the full aero kits that it got for both front and back of the car. I kept the stock tire compound since it does not change anything to the car. I switched the transmission to 6 gears for the best performance, but you can also use the 7 gear, also known as race transmission, because the car has 7 gears on stock. I kept going and added the best driveline and the race differential, and when I moved to the platform and handling category, I made sure that the car is equipped with a race suspension, which already is by default, so it was no need to pick anything from this category. I gave to the car full anti-roll bars, and I ended up with adding a bit of weight reduction so the car gets a bit faster. All I had to do left was to maximize the overall in S1 up to 900, so I ended up adding the fueling system and flywheel from the engine category, along with a bit of tire widths and heavier rims. As for the fine tuning, I changed the differential settings, meaning that I completely removed the deceleration and added the amount to acceleration for both front and rear. I kept the aero in its stock setup. I modified bump stiffness for front down to 4.1 and rear down to 5.7, and for the gears I changed the final drive to 3.7 for the best shifting experience. If you'd like me to do a guide about how to tune a car, feel free to tell me in the comments and I will make a one-on-one tutorial as quick as possible explaining all the details you need to know. With the tuning done, it was time to take the car again to a test drive. The results were definitely obvious. I got better traction, a better tire response, as because of the aero the car was even a bit faster in acceleration. But at some sharp corners it was still getting some understeer here and there. To try to remove it even more, I went back to the fine tuning, this time to the aero category that I passed earlier, and after some test runs I discovered that the best experience I got with the car was when I set it the front aero up to 215 and for the rear up to 285. Before the final review, I had one more step to check. I wanted to see how fast the car is based on a metal list. In the description of this video, you will find the link that will take you to the list with all the cars that I tested in this game. All of them have been tuned, some of the cars even got an update for their times, and I even added newer vehicles when they were released. If you want to see the time for a certain car, feel free to tell me in the comments and I will add it there after I properly tune it. All the tunings and the tracks have their own share codes. For this Lambo and for the track I tested the car in, I will leave the share codes in the description of this video. For the other vehicles, if you find your favorite ones in that list, to get access to the tune, you will have to follow me in the game or search my name tag, which is Nike Tweet Slayer, in the tunings list. If you follow me, every time you pick a stock car, you will get my tuning for that car first, and then you will be able to see other builds from other players. I will let you guys now watch the lap until the end of it. The experience was good on the track. I still did a few mistakes here and there, mostly because I wasn't properly shifting before corner exit, but after several tries the best lap I could get was a 202.330, time that brings the car up to position 16 in the S1 leaderboard for road cars, because the counting starts from the 4th row. Now at the end, it's time for me to give a final rating for the car. I will share the results based on design, top speed, launch, acceleration, and control or handling. The design is cool, I cannot really say too much about it. I love the way the car looks. It gives the feeling that it's about to jump at you if you make it angry without second thoughts. But I have seen much better cars that look even cooler, so I will give for the design an 8.5. The top speed is big, maybe too big for an all-wheel drive car, reason that it has a big understeer as well. The faster the all-wheel drive car is, the bigger the understeer will be and more sacrifice of speed will need to be made. For that, performance based, I will give an 8. The launch is self-explanatory and obvious. It launches pretty great, but it's not the best one I encountered. I will give it a 9.5. The acceleration comes for itself. All-wheel drive car combined with aero parts on it too, but even like that there are even faster cars in S1 class with faster acceleration on straights especially. For this category I will give an honest 9, and as for control, it kinda depends on the driver and the personal preference. In my case I got used with it pretty quick since that's my driving style and everything, but if I would be a casual racer I would need some practice to drive it properly. For the control, the car gets an 8. With all those summarized, the Lamborghini Sian Roadster gets a total rating of 8.6 out of 10, which is not bad at all for the car. It's pretty fun and enjoyable to drive with the proper tunings and enough experience spent with it on the road. With that being said guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already and if you want to see more content about this or even streams, and share it to your friends as well. I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye guys, have a good day and I will see you all on the roads.